What's going on, guys? This is Walk Talk Football, the show where we talk about everything that's on your mind. This week we are in Dumbo, in Brooklyn, and we have so much to talk about. We've got angry Barca fans sending us submissions. We've got people wanting to talk about James, whether he's overrated, underrated, and so many other things. So let's walk. So guys, first things first, we have a lot to talk about on this James Rodriguez loan to Bayern Munich. We've got a lot of people submitting things saying that he's overrated. We've got people saying he's underrated. He had 17 goals, 18 assists under Ancelotti last time he played for him. Struggled a little bit last year, didn't get a whole lot of time. And people want to know what our opinion is. How will he ultimately do at Bayern Munich? The first question I have is, where is he going to play? You have Robben and Ribéry, neither of which are very reliable in terms of staying injury-free, so he's going to get his matches there. He's comfortable playing on the left, on the right, as well as the number 10. But you've also got Müller, you've also got Lewandowski, you've also got, a number of players that somehow he's got to find his way into the lineup. So I don't think his starting position is anywhere near guaranteed, but I do think he will be in addition to them, and I do think he does have that ability to break down those lines. And when teams sit deep against them, when teams sit deep against Bayern Munich like they usually do, trying to close up all the gaps, James has the ability to create something for the team and create something out of nothing. So, while I don't think we'll ever probably see the James that we saw win the Golden Boot at the World Cup, I think he's going to be good at Bayern Munich. I think it's a great move for him. And well done by Bayern Munich for keeping all of that under the radar. Speaking of Bundesliga talk, Barca wants to know, dude, please talk more about Schalke and Bundesliga. Well, I guess he doesn't want to know. He's telling us to do it. Guess what? Schalke has Haji Wright and Weston McKennie, who are both young Americans playing at Schalke. They've both been brought up to the first team. It's confirmed. I've seen it on Transfer Market. They're going to both be in the first team this year, so I'm excited to see them. It gives us even more reason to talk about them. Hopefully they get some minutes. They weren't allowed to go to the U20 World Cup, which means that they have an important role to play within the team moving forward. And I'm also interested to see how Ben Taleb does at Schalke this year. So do I think Bayern Munich has stronger dominance by transfers and the Bundesliga becomes more boring? Look, I think the Bundesliga is something you have to wrap your head around. Bayern will dominate. I don't think there's going to be a title race for a while, but I think that there is an opportunity for other teams and other themes to play out throughout the year. So if you're looking for a title race, perhaps Germany isn't the one for you, but for the second, third, fourth, fifth positions, as well as just the competitive level of the league of 18 to 2 or 3, it's such a fun league. There's so much going on. There's a lot of young players. If you like young players, I think it's the most young players in any of Europe's big 5 leagues are playing games regularly, under 21, under 23 in the Bundesliga. And there's just really cool history, good storylines. They have great fans, great turnouts, great atmosphere. So if you need more reason than that to consider a league not boring, I can't really give that to you. What else have we got here? Oh man, we got to talk angry Barcelona fans. They are everywhere right now in our comments on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. People are not happy that Barcelona is not spending money right now. Gunnar Kamal says, for Walk Talk Football, why is Barcelona acting like a small club these days? Deulofeu, Paulinho, what the hell? They should be after bigger players. Well, there's links of Leonardo Bonucci going, if that's what you want, to play next to Piqué or whoever you play next to. So if that's what you consider a big player. I think he's a big player, but it's a defender, so it's not that much of an excitement. But you're right, Deulofeu is, the buyback, and then you have Paulinho, which they're trying to buy from the Chinese Super League. I don't understand why that is such a priority for them, or why they're willing to spend 25 million on a guy who's been playing kind of second or third tier football for a while now. So I agree with you guys. But they still believe in Andre Gomez. It seems really weird right now. New coach coming in. He seems a little bit nervous as to how he's going to make transfers, how he's going to handle changing the team around, which is not a good sign. You have to be willing to take chances. You have to have a little bit of, a set of huevos, as we say in Spanish, to make decisions, make hard decisions, and sign the players that you need. Because if you sign none, clearly you saw last year, they're not just going to be revitalized and that team's going to win the championship. You have a Real Madrid in the league that's so good right now, and they're making strategic signings, and they're getting a lot of these young guys to sign with them instead of Barcelona, which in the past was all about La Masia, as well as signing young players, bringing them into the first team. But even we saw with, what's his name, Carlos Puyol, took a guy from Barcelona's La Masia and sent him to, I think, England, to Manchester City's academy, saying that La Masia is not what it once was. So a lot of things going on at Barcelona, so I can understand your guys' frustrations, as well as being in the shadow of Real Madrid right now, who just seem to be doing everything right, which, I'd be upset too. Moving on to some BPL talk. Heath, do you think Liverpool will sign Naby Keita and Virgil van Dijk. Thoughts on Ivan Perisic to Manchester United? There's lots of rumors on Klopp wanting these guys, but he wants to get them for the right price. He doesn't want to overspend. But they're saying that he is going to be making some changes. I'm still available, Mr. Klopp. You know, I don't work well in the sun. By the end of this, I'll probably be quite a bit sunburned, but not as sunburned as the guy behind the camera, Mike, because he's a ginger, and gingers don't have souls, and souls can't be in the sun type. You guys get it. But next up, besides the obvious LFC transfer targets, who do you think they should go after before the transfer ends? I don't expect them to go after more than Van Dijk, who they've been in trouble for tapping up, so it's going to be on Van Dijk. Probably be a late deal in the window, which doesn't ever help anybody because he needs time to get into the club and get into the team and kind of implement himself and just get settled in. But maybe a left back. Left backs are hard to find. Moreno was not very good for them. Yes, Milner can play played a very team-first role, but he's not world-class at left back position. So next up, we've got Greg Lund saying, I think Chelsea have seriously underspent in the window considering the other competitors' business. Do you agree? I think at this point in the window, they've underspent. But if you look anywhere on the internet, they're linked for 60, 70, 80, 90 million pound moves for multiple guys. They're willing to spend 60 million on Alexandro as a left back. They're willing to spend 80 million on Morata, all these guys. So they will spend the money and they'll likely be the top spenders in the transfer window. But as of right now, you're right, they have underspent a little bit. Expectations for Rooney at Everton. I don't expect much. You know, if you watch the way he moves, he just has he kind of lost that step. I hope he does well. Rooney is a legend and he needs to go down in history as a legend. So I hope he does well and improves Everton, because I remember the days when Tim Howard was at Everton for a while and Tim Cahill was there and they were playing Champions League, Europa League, and just fighting for those positions every year, which they're going to do again this year. But there was just a little bit more of this kind of vibe about them that was really cool to see. So hopefully Rooney comes back and brings that back for them. Next, do you think that Manchester United need to sign a midfielder to help Pogba out? If so, who? Well, they just made Carrick their captain, so I don't know who else is going to play next to him. Yes, they can play with a three-man midfield there, but I mean, obviously they've shown that choosing a captain means you're making a commitment to a guy. Usually captains are the ones that are at least the most guaranteed to play of anybody, but it'd be nice to see them bring in another midfielder, but whether they do or don't, I'm just happy that they've now signed Lukaku and we can start to see a little bit more of an attractive style or a little bit more depth in the squad, which we didn't have last year. There wasn't a lot of big names on the team last year, but they seem to do okay, winning Europa League and then, you know, finishing okay in the league. But, you know, I'm happy for them. Hopefully they'll sign a few more players and we'll see the old Manchester United come back to life again. Get back to the point of Sir Alex Ferguson and all that David Moyes seemed to destroy when he was hired as a manager. Jonathan Hurtado wants an update on Champions League. Second round of qualifying is happening. Well, guess what? Linfield Celtic is happening. I don't know if you guys know anything about the storylines there, but there's a lot of political, religious history, but it makes for a very intense match day between these two sides, one from Northern Ireland, obviously Celtic of Scotland. So make sure you tune into that. That is going on tomorrow, and then the second leg will be next week, but really, really cool storylines that kind of stretch the game to history. Obviously, we don't like violence and we don't like to get involved in all that stuff, but anytime you have this historical timeline, it makes these games a little bit more significant. Moving to the Chinese Super League, talk about Modeste signing there. That's the best talent they've ever had stolen from Europe, which I agree with. Oscar Lavezzi, Axel Witsel, these are all top talented players or top level players from Europe. So, well, I think Modeste is good because he's a proven goal scorer in the Bundesliga. You know, they have also signed some other players that are good. So next up, if DC United were to fire Ben Olsen, who would be an ideal replacement, and what can the club do to return to old glory? Well, it's been a while since they've been in old glory, or their days of old glory. If they were to change him, I would say look to the USL, look to NASL, look to Giovanni Savarese, guys like that who I think have been kind of linked to multiple MLS clubs and have proven themselves at levels. It seems like sometimes MLS is a very closed community in terms of like the coaches they hire, they fire, they rehire, and it seems like this cycle, and I get it, there is a fear of quality of coaching or a depth of quality, fear of lack of depth of quality coaching. So I say take a chance on some NASL guys, USL guys, give them a real opportunity to show what they're made of, because I know that there's talented people both in MLS and at multiple levels here in the United States, or in North America anyway. What do you think about Jesus Tecatito Corona joining Dortmund or Barcelona? Also Raul Jimenez with Everton. I don't know enough about Mexican national team players, internationals. I know enough to know that I'm 1-1 against them in my career as a player, but tell me what you guys think about the Mexican national team. Tell me what you guys think about these players moving all over the globe. Do you think Mexico will always be better with bigger players in bigger clubs in Europe, or do you think they should be staying in Liga MX where they're much more accustomed to each other, which means their national team plays better as a group but they don't have those big stars who are playing at the highest level. Let me know what you guys think. What else do we have here? Do you think that Honduras have a chance to get out of the group of the Gold Cup and reach the finals? I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the Gold Cup at all, but French Guiana has Florent Malouda, who played 80 times for the French national team, was told that he was not allowed to play in the Gold Cup because of the FIFA rules, or because CONCACAF follows FIFA sanctions or FIFA rules, and then he played. They ended up drawing. Now Honduras are third in the group, but it's kind of under review, which is supposed to mean that French Guiana will have to forfeit, which will give 3 points back to Honduras, which will put them right back in the thick of things to get out of their group, which is a really interesting storyline and very odd that French Guiana knew that he wasn't allowed to play, but he played anyway. So perhaps they're going to have to give up the result, and that'll put Honduras right back into position. Whether they get to a final or not, it's too early in the tournament. We've seen with the U.S. national team as well. They haven't played well to start the tournament. By the way, if you haven't been watching, the U.S. barely scraped out a win yesterday. They drew against Panama, and they have to get way, way better if they want to win this tournament. Mexico, I think, played today, but regardless, you know, I think there's a long way to go in this tournament, and it's a long tournament, 3 groups, and just Honduras has a chance to get somewhere. Honduras has been good in the past if they even get out of this group. Next up, another MLS question. How long will AEG follow Beckerman, will allow Beckerman, Klein, Vahinas, and Alfo to keep destroying the Galaxy? Look, I think the Galaxy are in a transition period. Bruce Arena left. All that he had left, yeah, they brought guys in that were from his team to kind of take over that squad, but it's a new coach, it's a new vision, they have to move forward. It's a very different club than it used to be, whereas the days of the big 3 or big 4 marquee players in the team, and they brought in young players and kind of had a nice little mix of results. The new coach having to implement the system, so be patient, and then after this year, or say halfway through next year, then maybe complain and make a change. Can you talk about 16-year-old Alphonso Davies for Canada? Also, should I be concerned Spurs haven't signed anyone? Guys, Spurs, if you didn't know, are still in the Premier League. And you wouldn't know that if you've been following the transfer rumors lately, because there's a few people trying to buy Dele Alli, Eric Dyer, guys like that. Spurs aren't buying anybody. They're not signing any players. They're not improving the squad. And you would almost forget that they finished second last year based on their movement in the transfer window. Or this could be Pochettino's way of showing that he believes in his squad and there's not a whole lot to change, and that if there is going to be changes, it has to be the perfect ones and not just bringing in players for the sake of bringing in players. Kind of like Chelsea does, where they've apparently had 50-something loan deals in the last few years. Chelsea have somehow proven that system to work. Now it's time for my favorite part of the show, guys, to address you haters. It's a very short part of the show this week, because you guys have been giving me a lot of love in the comments. You guys have been giving Pat a lot of love, Prez a lot of love, lots of positive things, and we've got lots of positive things coming your way. But the only hate I've got this week is, Heath, man, you need a haircut, in all caps, ASAP. All right. I don't know how to respond to that. I'm probably not going to cut my hair. I kind of like it. Quick story, I had it down past my shoulders when I was playing in Sweden and I finished my career, but then I went to get married, and before, my wife was like, yeah, keep it long, and then right before the wedding she was like, yeah, you're gonna cut that short because we're not gonna have whack-ass haircut in our wedding pictures for the rest of our life. So I had to cut it, but now I'm growing it long again. But guys, that is it. I've had a lot of fun with you guys. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think, what's going on within the game, out of the game, storylines that are cool. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.